Icelocked here with Nocturne Gaming, back with more Legends of Eidolon, and today we're taking a look at a Hunter talent build. A quick note before we get started, this is a higher level character, so I may have more talent points than you, but this guide is more about a priority of your talents instead of completing the full build. But with all of that being said, let's go ahead and get started with tab 1, and our priority should always be on Gilded Sword, as this gives you a percentage increase to all of your monster damage. Next should be Sharpened Axe for an increase to your base weapon power, and then should be putting 50 points into Idle Shooting. This is a talent with the diminishing returns on it, so the more points you have, the less benefit you gain from each talent point. At level 100, this only gives you 17% to your AFK gain rate, so after 50 points, it should not be your priority. After this, your priority should be choosing if you want more damage from your agility, or if you want to increase your accuracy by increasing your strength here. Accuracy is one of the most important stats in the game. Without it, all of our other stats basically become useless, so make sure you always have enough accuracy to have a 100% hit chance. I'm going to go ahead and increase our strength here so you can see how much strength helps our accuracy. After that, I'm going to go ahead and put our points into quickness boots to get our agility boost, and everything else on this tab becomes a lot more optional. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to tab 2. We'll come back to this tab after we finish tab 3. And our priority in tab 2 should always begin with High Polymer Limbs, as this increases your damage that you gain from your weapon power. After that, your next priority should be Veins of the Infernal, and this gives you damage based on your smithing level. From there, there's a little bit of a wonky change, and that is deciding where to put your talents in your active attack skills. Active attack skills have two benefits. The first is giving you a damage boost while you're fighting. The second is there is a hidden multiplier that affects your kills per hour while you're offline. And certain attacks, such as piercing arrows, can affect this multiplier, giving you up to 2.2 times more kills per hour. So you definitely want to make sure you have enough points in piercing arrow to give you that full benefit from that hidden multiplier. Kung Fu Kick is also good, but it doesn't affect that kill multiplier, so I only usually put a few points into it. After that, there's also Have Another, as this can give you a chance to fire 2 arrows instead of 1, and getting 50 points in there gives you a really good chance of having that second arrow shot. After that, let's get back to our priority, and that would be starting with Garb of Unaging Quality. And this is really good, but it depends on how much stats you have on your equipment. So with lower levels of gear, you may want to prioritize Sanic Speed instead, as this gives you a flat amount of agility for every point that you spend. But if you have good gear, then Garb of Unaging Quality should be your higher priority. Once we have all of these stats placed, everything else becomes much more about utility, so we'll come back to this once we finish up tab 3. So on to tab 3, our priority will always begin with Looty McShooty, as this gives you a damage bonus for every 50 items you've ever found on your players. Now, this means picking up an item a single time. So if you pick up a bow, it counts for 1. If you pick up 10 bows, it's still only going to count for 1. So you need to pick up different items throughout the game, and for every 50 different items you find, it will allow you to get another damage boost from Looty McShooty. This does include items that you find in dungeons. So we'll go ahead and add our points here, and you can see we did get quite a big bonus to our damage from this. Our next priority will always be Agi again, as this will allow you to put more talent points into Quickness Boots on tab 1. From here, we're back to our active attacks, and all 3 skills that we can see here will give us a bonus to our kill multiplier that's hidden. And so we want to put points into 360 No Scope, into Bear Trap, and into Have Another. All of these will help your kill multiplier, and then these other 2 are more about utility, so I usually have 1 point into each of those. From here, our priority continues with putting points into previous points, as this is a great way to help get all of the utility benefits out of tab 2. And now we're back to our choices of what to spend our last few talent points on. Your first option is putting points into Visible Vessels, as this will allow you to get more talent points into ICU on tab 1. ICU can increase your critical hit chance. I don't really find this to be highly worth it at early levels, but if you have enough spare talent points later in the game, it can be a nice boost for you. Your other two options are putting points into Straight Shot Statues and or Shoe Full of Obols. Straight Shot Statues gives you a bonus to your speed as well as production bonus, so I actually kind of like this for the utility that it gives, as Shoe Full of Obols is just not a very good damage bonus, as this is based on how much agility your obols give. So unless you just have a ridiculous amount of agility from your obols, you're not going to gain much from this. So I do usually choose to put my points into Straight Shot Statues, and then if I had any points left over, I would actually choose putting it into Eagle Eye for the utility for collecting my hunter traps. Alright, so that's it for tab 3. We do have a few points left over in tab 1 and 2, so let's finish up those really quickly. And for the utility here, you have a couple options. First would be choosing to put it into Strafe to get more movement speed. I would choose to prioritize having Smelting every day over that, as this would give me more forge progress and help me in my skills. And so I'm going to put my points into here. There is a good breakpoint that if you can get to 120 points into Smelting every day, it gives you 3 seconds of progress instead. And then after this, I've got enough points left over that I might as well throw my last points into Strafe. You can also choose to go into Robin Hood, as this will allow you to increase your monster drop rarity for better loots. And back into tab 1, we have a couple hundred points left over, so I want to finish maxing out quickness boots here. And then from here, your choices become again about your utility. You can put points into Featherweight if you've got enough spare. I usually choose to put points into Broken Time, as again this increases my anvil production, which is a very important part of the game. And then after that, you have the choices of putting points into Book of the Wise for more wisdom, which boosts your mana and your boss damage. Or you can put it into Lucky Clover for more luck, which increases your drop rate and your EXP gain. So both of these are really good options, and so is Featherweight. But if you have a ton of talent points left over, that's when I would go into ICU after choosing pretty much everything else. The last thing I want to go over is your star talent points, and the first thing I would do is put points into Will of the Eldest and Beginner Best Class. Both of these are based on your highest level characters, so only put points in up to what your highest levels are. My characters are all just under about 200, so I'm going to put 20 points into each of these. The next thing I would do is put points into Attacks on Simmer for more AFK gain rate, TikTok for the same thing, more AFK gains, and Goblet of Hemoglobin is a great way to help increase your survivability. On this tab, there is one more talent that's worth mentioning, and that is Stonks, and this is a good way to get a few extra star talent tabs. This talent comes from the Wellington questline, but you can assign 30 points to this to get the maximum benefit, and it would give you an additional 48 star talent points for assigning 30 to it. On to tab 2 of your star talents, your first priority should be Dungeonic Damage, as this gives you more damage based on how many dungeon credits you've earned. These dungeon credits don't have to be in your inventory. As long as you've earned them, they'll count for it. This is a great damage boost for you. And after that will be Frothy Malk to boost your foods and potions, which can be another small damage gain for you. After this, everything else is pretty much utility again, and my first choice would usually be Telekinetic Storage to increase carry capacity, and always 1 point into Printer Sampling and Shrine Architect. The other choices that are good are Just XP for more class XP, and Pulsation is good for you on lower levels, as this can increase your mana regeneration rate to let you use your active attacks a little more often. Cardiovascular is also worth mentioning to increase your card drop chance. But these are all choices for you to make, and there is one other talent that I have almost forgot to mention, and that is the Mega Crit talent, and this can increase your crit chance as well as give you the chance for mega crits if you have more than 100% crit chance. A couple quick tips to mention before we finish up, and that is to remember to assign your attacks to your attack bar. By clicking this button here, assign attacks, and then on tab 2 and on tab 3, there are a few talents for you to assign to your action bars, and this will allow you to get the most out of your talents. Don't forget you can assign your telekinetic storage, your sampling, and your shrine architect. One last thing to mention is that there is an easy way to reset your talent points, and that's by using the talent reset potion. And fragments for these potions can be found from monster drops throughout the game, as well as bought in various shops. There's also the star talent reset potion, which will allow you to reset your star talents. These can be crafted in Anvil tab 2 or bought from the gem shop. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying this type of content, and a huge shout out to our Patreon members that support the work we do. Thank you from all of us here at Nocturne Gaming. If you would like to become a patron and get some added benefits, check out the link in the description. If you have any thoughts, comments, or questions, please leave them down below for me, and we'll see you next time.